See, Africa is being split up. The most densely populated country of mainland Africa. More unique is the gorillas. Tiny 1 meter long suspension bridge. I'm Camilla, I make travel and geography related videos. I zoom in on every country in the world following the alphabet from Z to A. Today we're going to zoom in on the first R country, Rwanda. Fun fact, Rwanda is only 1 out of 3 countries in the world that has a female majority in the national parliament. The other ones being Bolivia and Cuba. In this video, I will present to you geography and travel suggestions for Rwanda. I seek to find the most correct information. Sometimes I make mistakes, so you're welcome to let me know so that this video will be as correct as possible. Let's zoom in! Rwanda is a landlocked country in Central/East Africa, in between Uganda and Burundi, and also bordering the DRC and Tanzania. The country lies in the African Great Lakes region, in the Great Rift Valley. See, Africa is being split up. See, the land in Eastern Africa is slowly drifting away from the rest of Africa. And here we can find big lakes like Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, and Lake Malawi. Let's take a closer look at Rwanda, which lies just south of the equator. The northernmost point is marked by the Muvumba River right here, bordering Uganda. The easternmost point follows the Kagera River, bordering Tanzania. The southernmost point lies right here on the border with Burundi, and the easternmost point borders the Congolese town Bukavu. Rwanda is a pretty small country. It comes to number 144 worldwide in area, but is one of the smallest countries on the African mainland after Djibouti, Eswatini, and the Gambia. I thought at least Equatorial Guinea would be smaller. Look, it looks super small, but it's actually a little bigger. Rwanda has a pretty large population, however. Almost 13 million people live in Rwanda, coming on number 75 in population, making the country really densely populated. There are 470 people for every square kilometers, making Rwanda come on place number 14 in population density, and the most densely populated country of mainland Africa. Let's look at life expectancy. In 1960, life expectancy was 42.6 years. During the Civil War and Rwandan genocide, life expectancy has been as low as 26.2 years. And in 2019, life expectancy has risen to 69 years. That is a huge change in just a little bit of time. So, where do all those nearly 13 million people live? The capital city and biggest city is Kigali, lying in the center of the country. Other cities are Gisenyi, lying right next to the Congolese city Goma, and Ruhengeri here in the north. Rwanda has 4 official languages: English, French, Swahili, and Kinyarwanda, spoken by most Rwandans. Some words I looked up in Kinyarwanda are Umuntu, that means person, Ahantu means place, and Inka means cow. I'm probably mispronouncing these words here. So Kigali lies in the center of the country. Let's check it out. It looks like a really big city. Let's just measure it. The metro area. Here approximately 11 kilometers. Yeah, it's pretty big. I see here the Kigali International Airport, where you can shop at Bro Fashions and study at Alpha Community Academy. Umusambi Village. Oh look, a nature preserve. That's a cool looking bird. Let's zoom in some more. I immediately noticed this big roundabout. The best Nigerian food in Kigali? Well, that seems worth a visit. City Plaza Shopping Mall. Downtown Complex Shopping Mall. There are a lot of shopping opportunities here. Cake Corner. I see some hotels here too. Is that a pool? Here's a music school. Looks like there are a lot of parks here, like the Kimihurura Park. Looks like a pretty big park. And here's the university, also with lots of green areas around it. Frosty ice cream shop. Looks like the university sits on a hill, and actually the capital city is pretty hilly. It is indeed the country of 1,000 hills. Yeah, it is super hilly here. And right there, I can see a pretty big hill. Look, there are people living on top of this hill too. And if you live here, look at that. You can see so much of the capital city. And you You can probably drive up here, and maybe you can even walk to the top of this mountain and look at this view. You can see so far. You can even see Restaurant Baobab. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, let's check out the rest of the country. I want to check out this city close to Goma, Gisenyi. Does it say artificial forests? Huh, interesting. I do not get used to all these mountains here. It's so steep. Here they have a University of Tourism, Technology and Business Studies. Nice. The cafe and a hotel. And look, so many houses in this town. Here is the bus station, cross-border markets. Yep, and here we can see it. The border between Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. It's this line going right here. I wonder how hard it is to cross these borders. Like how hard it is to apply for a visa. If one country is harder to enter than the other. If you know, you're free to comment down below. And look, there are 2 airports here. One in Goma, Congo, and one here in Rwanda. Here's a stadium. Okay, I want to check out one more place. This is probably really random, but I'm curious to see what these mountains here look like. You see they're oriented north to south, slightly eastwards too. I want to know what it looks like. Wow, see. Look at this pattern. There are stripes going through the land here. This looks pretty fascinating. Lots of mountains and then valleys in between them. And look, there are people living here. I can see this country is pretty densely populated. There are houses, a lot of places. Even far away from the bigger cities. Look at this landscape. Is there a place in Rwanda without any mountains? Well, yeah, the mountains are definitely dominating. Yeah, I just really like mountains. Here is a topography map of Rwanda. And what I noticed immediately is that the entire country is at a high altitude. Actually, the lowest point here is at 950 meters above sea level, at the Ruzizi River, making up the border with the DRC. This is what it looks like. The high elevation has given Rwanda the nickname Pays de Mikoyine, meaning land of 1,000 hills. Yes, mountains dominate central and western Rwanda. We can see mountains running north to south right here. These mountains are part of the Albertine Rift. See, here we have the Albertine Rift. Tectonic plates are moving away from each other, creating a big rift. And the Albertine Rift includes the valley and the surrounding mountains. And of course, this large lake here, Lake Kivu, the largest lake of the country. The tallest mountains, however, are found all the way in the north, in the Virunga Mountains, also lying in the DRC and Uganda. The Virunga Mountains are a chain of volcanoes, and the tallest point of Rwanda is Mount Karisimbi. This is the tallest of all volcanoes here, and Rwanda shares it with the DRC. Its elevation is 4,507 meters, or 14,787 feet. Here's a picture that shows the view from up here. Wow! But Rwanda is not all mountainous. The eastern part is dominated by savanna, plains, and swamps. There are lots of rivers and lakes too, throughout the whole country. The longest river is the Nyabarongo. Here we can see it meandering through the country. It forms the Kagera River following the Tanzanian border, eventually draining into Lake Victoria, which again flows into the Nile River. In fact, around 80% of Rwanda's rivers eventually drain into the Nile. The other 20% eventually drain into the Congo River. The largest lake of Rwanda, you've already seen it, is Lake Kivu. But maybe you didn't know that this lake is one of the 20 deepest lakes in the world, with a maximum depth of 480 meters. Other big lakes in Rwanda are Burera, Ruhondo, Muhazi, Ruwero, and Ihema. If you're from Rwanda, you can tell me how I'm doing on the pronunciation. I'm trying. Opposite side time. Abu ruler in the capital city Kigali. We're probably gonna end up in the middle of the Pacific. I move it for 20,000 kilometers around the globe, and yep, the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But not very far away from land. The closest land is Kiritimati, or Christmas Island, part of Kiribati. Okay, get ready for some great destinations. This is probably the best segment in this video about Rwanda. I didn't know there were so many things to do and see here. The nature is so beautiful. I want to start with maybe the top one thing to do here that you cannot do many other places in the world. Let's start our trip in Rwanda in Volcanoes National Park. This is where the Virunga Mountains are found, those volcanoes. But something more unique is the gorillas. The mountain gorillas are critically endangered, but the numbers are rising. You can visit a gorilla family. This is not cheap, and the easiest way to do this is through a tour operator. During your trek, which lasts between 4 and 8 hours, you get to see forests, swamps, mountains, maybe even a view of the volcanoes, and hopefully those unique gorillas. Also, in Volcano National Park, you can learn a thing or two about the Rwandan culture by visiting the Gorilla Guardians village. You can learn how to weave a basket, how to carry a basket on your head, grind grains with a heavy stone, and there are traditional dancers. I've been to a similar place in South Africa. It's a lot of fun. Okay, on to the next destination. We aren't done exploring Rwanda's nature, so the next destination is Nyungwe Forest National Park. This is one of the most important forest conservation areas in all of Africa. And the biodiversity here is, well, extremely high. There are 75 species of mammals. That's a lot of different kinds of species. Amongst them are chimpanzees. Yep, like the gorillas, you can go trekking to see them. And a great place to get a view of this conservation area is by walking the only canopy walk in East Africa across a 91-meter long suspension bridge. Look at that. Well, that is impressive. Also, there are 15 hiking trails here, so there's plenty to explore. On a visit to Rwanda, you cannot miss out on the vibrant city of Kigali. For instance, you can visit the Kimironko market, a very large market. Also, I would love to try out some of the restaurants, like in the Nyamirambo neighborhood, where you can, like the Rwandans, eat big fish with onions and spices and eat them with your hands. I have just a tiny last travel destination for you. If you follow my Instagram account, you might know that me and my husband explore camping. Well, I found a campsite. You can camp on Lake Burera, and from here, you will have a view to the Muhabura volcano. Yeah, I don't know how safe this is. Maybe there are wild animals around, so yeah, check that out before you camp here. Rwanda impresses me. The nature is varied, the whole country lies in high elevation. The biodiversity is just amazing. The capital city looks super interesting. And there's plenty to do here for tourists. I would love to come here, check it out, talk to some locals, and learn much more about this country. These were some geographical facts on Rwanda. Next time, are you ready to hear it? Next time, we're gonna go to the biggest country on the whole planet, to Russia. And we're zooming out. Thank you for watching, guys.